Morning, guys. So let's move on to the DAX. Um, yeah, so I think the DAX is showing different signals and giving more of a bullish vibe for me anyway. So again, we start on the weekly, and first thing that you'll notice from last week is that we broke this channel to the downside. So we pretty much were in a downward channel here, and then we broke to the upside. Okay, so that is kind of from a price action perspective, that does look pretty interesting. But from a Ichimoku perspective, we are bearish with Ticker span, okay, and we have a Kumu twist here. We've had a Kigensen and Kigensen crossover. So that's one, two, three bearish signals, okay. And then the other thing that we have here is there's our previous swing high. We are creating, or I'll be creating a swing high at the moment, but we have diversions, we have price moving to the downside, we have OVV moving to the upside. Okay, so let's just go down to the daily. Right, so now on the daily there are a couple of levels to watch out for. So obviously this pin bar here is the one that we are waiting to be challenged. Okay, there it is, and you can see that there is a breakout here, this area here, which hasn't really been challenged. Wasn't challenged with this pin bar. It wasn't really challenged here. So, and it lines up with the top of the cloud. So that's probably another pretty important level. So what we have here, there's no real divergence on the 4 hour, or sorry, on the daily. Nothing really to write home about here. It's just a nice solid uptrend off support. Okay, so now remember what I said. Often what happens is we break through the cloud. Okay, there was the first break, and we went back up, tried to continue to the upside, then we broke violently to the downside, and we haven't come back to test the cloud break yet. Okay, there was an attempt, and then we broke through, and now we are bouncing off the 200 EMA on the daily. So the question right now is, are we going to consolidate, maybe move slightly to the downside, and then break the cloud to the upside? I think everything hinges whether Europe's going to follow the US. My view on the US right now is to the downside. And the interesting question in my mind really is about how Europe follows. Does Europe follow on its own accord, or are we going to drop? But since Europe is also involved in this little oil debacle in Syria, I have my doubts whether we're moving to the upside. 4 hour. Just get the 4 hour, maybe we can see something more interesting here. And so, okay, after last trade, so we did bounce off the Dickinson on Friday. And just bear in mind, I've set this chart up slightly differently. I think what we should actually do is just get a let's look at a 24-hour chart rather. It'll give us a much better view on what's happening. Okay. this is the chart that we're using on Friday. Let's just tidy it up. Okay, so we can see that on Friday we had a bounce off Dickinson, okay, and we're up the top here. But we started with a big red candle to the downside in after hours trading, okay. And the reason why I want to use the 24-hour chart is it just gives you, if you look here, it kind of gives you early warning about what's going to happen. So we have diversions at the bottom. Let's just use a copper line. There we go. And we have price to the upside. Okay. But what I'd like to point out here is we have a channel. So we've come trend into a channel. Okay. Now normally we will have some sideways movement. So either this channel is going to continue, or we're going to get some sideways movement before it breaks the upside or breaks the downside. And we are currently, well, not quite yet. So this would be the first level of support. We are on the 200, and that would be support there. Okay, so we are on the daily. There are some bullish signals from the Ichimoku. So we've got a crossover there, and we've got Sikus band that's breaking through at the moment. So the cloud is still hasn't crossed over. So we've only got one signal basically. This is, call it half a signal because we're on Kijinsen, so we need to break through Kijinsen. But again, you can see the difference on this chart. So we have a lower high forming here, but we have diversions on the OBV. So OBV is moving to the upside, and it's moving to the downside. Okay, and we can actually go back further. So this is where, this is why I'm saying I'm kind of more on the bearish side than the bullish side, because there's the previous high there. So we have diversions from January. Okay, so from the high to there, so we created the high, price has created a lower high here, and created a lower high here. But when it did create this lower high, look what happened here. Okay, you can see the diversions that we had was there. See that? But now that we've created another lower high and diversions, there was no diversions here, which indicated that everything was fine. Okay, we were trending. But now what's happened is we've got diversions off a level, which is a 200 EMA. Okay, and this could very much be the new trend line that's forming here to the downside. So, in saying that, let's get to the hour so we can see what we are looking at. So this channel is pretty solid. Okay, so you can see how we're coming off top here. We have had a big gap up, which for the love of me, I don't understand why, but anyway, that's just the way the markets are at this stage. And so Kijinsen and Dickinson are together on hour at the moment. Everything's bullish on the hour. I mean, follow my own rule from bottom left to top right. My screen, price is moving from bottom left to top right. We are trending up. We should be looking for long. However, I'm pretty concerned about the levels that we are on most of the other markets. So regardless, if we do bounce back to this area, anywhere in this area, I am looking for shorts. So that is the way you trade Ichimoku. If it comes to the cloud, that is the last line of support, which is the top of the cloud. If it breaks that, then the trend is theoretically changing. But for now, this long downtrend is basically still intact. Okay, so I think Oh, sorry, there's one other thing that we need to pay attention to here. Have a look how the 100 and the 200 are coming together here. So that's normally a pretty bullish signal if it's they cross over and they group crossovers that point to the upside. But what we can do here is just switch to the Bull Williams quickly. And you can see where the pivot. So the weekly pivot's here. The daily pivot is on the alligator. And we have diversions here. Okay. And I'll just show you something. On the awesome oscillator, when you see this kind of saddle picture, but what you're looking for is price to be either straight like it is here, and then awesome oscillator moving to the downside. That indicates a turn. Okay, so there's not a turn, but here is. So you've got diversions basically. So you've got price there, you've got a higher price there. So you've got high on the awesome oscillator there, and then you've got a lower high there. So and then we start moving into red bars. So this is normally a wave down, so it'll come down. And from a Bull Williams perspective, probably onto the pivot here, close the gap, and then move to the upside. Or alternatively, we're going to keep moving to the downside and start picking up the bigger target. And that's when I get to the daily on the Bull Williams. Okay, so we've broken through. Bull Williams is pointing to the upside. So this is all very bullish. This 200 EMA is what's worrying me. So we may just get a pullback to this area here, and this may hold, and then the DAX may continue gradually moving to the upside or finding a better level to bounce off. So yes, I think watch and see for me really on the DAX. I think the Dow is a bit more clear, and the Aussie is a bit more clear for me, but the DAX is kind of it's kind of mixed feelings for me. So we'll have to watch price action. I mean, I've got a lot of time today, so I'll be watching on the hour rather than just putting my trades in on the 4 hours. So I'll just look for price action. And if I see something, I'll put up another video. So just keep your notifications on, and you'll see it come through. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Hope it helps. Thanks, man.